They call me the Doctor.
Greetings, humans, Daleks, Time Lords, and once again, we don't actually have time for this because we are coming to you from another emergency recording where we had no intention of recording today. Yesterday, at time of recording, some news came out and we thought, we need to get in the studio now!
It's just a little bit of news. I don't know if it's that important to anyone, honestly.
No, quite minor,
Yeah.
really. Just that David Tennant and Catherine Tate are coming back.
Both of them,
yeah.
It's fucking
that's all from us.
insane.
Yes.
I like, why, how, and this is the thing, they didn't answer any fucking questions, because in the little caption it's like, why are we coming back? Is it time travel? Is it, well, it might be probably time travel. Is it time travel? Is it a memory wipe? Is it parallel universe? Is it the future? Is it the past? Is it a flashback? But I don't know what it is, but I cannot wait to see both of them back.
It's really weird because for months we've been covering rumours because it's always fun to talk about. And David Tennant and Catherine Tate coming back was always at the forefront of that. It was kind of to the point where this came yesterday and I was like, oh, okay. Because I kind of was like, I kind of expected that. It's like, it's amazing that it's been announced, but I'm like, yeah, all right. Because I saw it coming. But the thing that's kind of really like now, like going, huh? Is the stuff they're saying about it. Because it's like, why are you being so vague? What is going on?
Because it would have been so easy to just say, oh, it's a flashback.
Yeah.
It's what my money would have been on.
Because I've got the two things, the statement that they released, like officially. Also, like looking at the article as well, I'll come on to that in a moment, but looking at the article as well, I think it's really interesting that people are really dissecting from the first line. The first line is, one of the most loved pairings in Doctor Who's history have reunited and are filming scenes that are due to air in 2023 to coincide with the show's 60th anniversary celebrations. Now, things that people that is really hard to say. The people that think the things that people the things that people are really picking apart there. There's so many P's. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. That was that one.
That better.
Is firstly 60th anniversary celebrations.
Yes. To coincide with. It's very much saying.
That's people like going. Okay, this idea that we've been saying that maybe it's going to be one episode in April, which is Tennant and Tate. Maybe it's going to be another episode in July, which is Smith, blah, 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 etc. Well, the reason I did that is because I thought, would Karen Gillan actually do it?
Yes, she'd do it in a heartbeat.
I
know she would.
I know she would want to, is whether she could.
That's a fair point.
Because, like, she got married the other day and Robert Downey Jr. was at her wedding. It's a bit like, is her agent really going to be like, what do you want to go to Wales for?
To be fair, her agent don't control her.
No,
just helps.
But it would. But
she has full final say in.
But I can imagine it just to be like, look, you're either going to go to Wales for this, or you can go to Hollywood to film this. Which one are you really gonna?
I'd go to Wales.
I think she personally would want to go to Wales.
But for her career, would it be the smart move?
Career and money, you'd probably want to go. Well, Hollywood are paying 10 times what they're paying, so I'll probably go there. So it's that kind of thing. Whereas people are still very much like, I don't know. Until we get an announcement, we don't know.
Yeah.
But celebrations is very much kind of in what we're expecting.
It opens the door for there being
something more than just one episode. Because I think if there was one episode, they probably would have put with the show's 60th anniversary celebration.
Or just 60th anniversary. I don't think it would have said celebrations. I don't think the word celebration would have been anywhere near it.
Yeah. The other one that people are picking apart is filming scenes. Because that doesn't sound like it's a full thing. Now, I think that's just them saying, like, we are filming. But filming scenes, why are you saying that? That almost sounds like it might not be as huge a main part as you think. If it is like a thing where we jotting between, because we had the idea where you could have something where the regeneration goes wrong and suddenly she's Tennant, and then suddenly he's Capaldi. And suddenly he's Smith.
But why would the companions
that would more be a scene thing. But you're right, Tate coming back in. Maybe then you could have some time thing where the TARDIS is now in this state with these people. And then now we're in this state with these people. And then
you could just do it being a storyline that is followed throughout all the time times of the Doctors, and they were dealing with something of it at a certain point in time. Very much an anthology kind of thing. You could do that. That makes sense with it being a scenes thing. But also, I kind of like hell, when I get an actor in to do kind of a short film or anything, they're still filming. I still would say you're filming.
You're filming your scenes,
Yeah.
even if they're the lead. Yeah, it's just I think it's just a bit weird wording.
Weird wording.
That's all.
But also,
In the same way that in the Shooty Gatwa announcement, in nowhere in the announcement did they ever say he's the 14th Doctor. I think it's just a weird wording.
like I'm not looking at Shooty and thinking, are you actually the 70,000th Doctor? You know, I think it's just a weird part on whoever's written the statement.
Yeah. Anyway, so the actual statement that they released,
Okay, hit me
because
with it.
it says Russell T Davies, showrunner, says, and then the thing he put on his Instagram was a completely different thing. Well, not completely different,
Just
but it was a different bit.
Yeah.
So in the article, it says, they're back and it looks impossible. First, we announce a new Doctor and then an old Doctor, along with the wonderful Donna. What on earth is happening? Maybe this is a missing story, or a parallel world, or a dream, or a trick, or a flashback. The only thing I can confirm is that it's going to be spectacular as two of our greatest stars reunite for the battle of a lifetime.
I think I picked up there. Battle of a lifetime.
Yes.
Battle of a lifetime.
Lifetime.
Does that mean our lifetime? Or does it mean the
His
Doctor's
lifetime. And then the one he put on Instagram, which is similar, but not quite. They're back. So they both start the same. They're back. The Doctor and Donna, but how? He wiped her memory. If she remembers, she'll die. But is it a flashback, a dream sequence, a lie, a fantasy, a parallel universe? Alt Doctor, the land of fiction? You'll find out in 2023 as Doctor Who hits its 60th diamond anniversary. So there are differences there.
Slight.
One, he's kind of talking about Donna, and the other one, he's kind of talking about the Doctor-ish.
Out of all the things Russell said there, is it a flashback? Is it a parallel universe? What is it? Do you think it's actually going to be any of those things he said? Or do you think it's one of those things and he's been like, it could be any of these? Or do you think it's none of those? And he's just throwing out all of these crazy ideas.
Yeah, because the thing that's interesting is you'd think, well, it's the 10th Doctor and Donna, so, okay, it'll be something from their timeline.
You don't even need to mention anything. It's
Like,
just,
I think
okay.
that would be the obvious idea, which is nice. Then why is he saying, like, but how? He wiped her memory, which does imply this is going to be Donna later in the timeline.
Which
So
is
is this a 10th Doctor sometime before the end of time? Maybe between Day of the Doctor and end of time? And how has he come back to Donna? And how is that? Maybe that is what it is about. Or is that just a complete red herring?
It's, oh, fuck, is it red herrings? Is Shooty gonna cure Donna and then accidentally transform back into Tennant, and we're gonna go down this weird rabbit hole where that happens? Is Donna actually gonna have her memory fixed, or is it gonna be this kind of bubble state where she can only be able to be fixed for like a day? Maybe. Is it gonna be even that kind of thing? Are we gonna just have a flashback to when they were both just happy-go-lucky, enjoying life together?
What would you want?
What would I want?
Would you want Tennant? Say these are your two options I'm going to
Okay.
say you pick
Okay.
from. Option A, this is Tennant between Day of the Doctor and End of Time, and he's bumped into Donna. No, that wouldn't work.
Why?
Because he sees Donna in the End of Time.
She can't, if she has her memory fixed, it cannot be really at any point in the Tennant's lifetime.
The only way it would work is if he does it in his reunion tour, but that means he'd have to be like, through the whole thing. That's a long adventure for that.
Just take some steroids.
Russell has already added things into that, like he did a little animated thing where the Doctor goes and sees Novus Haim in the reunion tour. So he's already saying, we can add, there's little gaps you can add in here. But you're right, that wouldn't work.
A reunion tour, he can visit people, but he can't have an adventure.
I don't think he can have an adventure, no. Because then that means he's still got to then go, anyway, where was I? I've got to go see Rose now. It's a bit like, all right, a bit random thing to do. That's not going to work.
She can't regain her memory.
So it's like, if she does get her memories back, it can't be permanent.
Or it has to be after Tennant. Then how does Tennant spend time with Donna?
I think I would want just something from Series 4. Even though it's like, well, okay. But it's like, that's just the easy option. Russell's cleverer than that. I'm like, yeah. But I don't know. I feel like
Donna's story is
because it's got to be. Well, it's weird because when there was that rumor before Series 13 came out that Catherine had been spotted in Liverpool, which is where Doctor Who was also filming at the same time. People were like, my God, Donna's coming back. And it just turned out she was just coincidentally filming something else. I remember at the time being like, absolutely not, never bring her back. Her story is done. She can't remember the Doctor. No. But because that's Russell's storyline, if he's the one to pick it up, I can live with that.
I love the way the right to finish.
I do love the way it's ended, but it's like if anybody can do it, it is you because it's your storyline. But because of David Tennant's last episode having Donna in, it does complicate it, and it's like it would kind of ruin it that if this was like just before the end of time or just before the Day of the Doctor or something, and he's like, oh my God, it's Donna. It's implied that it's been ages since he saw her, and we know there's not that much time in the Doctor's timeline to fit that in. I'm sure there will be a way. I don't think he's going to try and
squeeze it in. I really don't. Because I feel like he knows his timeline really fucking well. He was meticulous in like every beat of it. He made it so there was a big gap between them seeing each other last, so it has more impact. Like everything was meticulous. I doubt he's going to do this kind of thing where you just go back. Like it's just like, oh, she'll be fixed for a day. Because that feels... It takes away the pain of her... Like... Are we going to have another of Donna? Like, because I mean, we've already had them where Donna has a memory wiped, and that's heartbreaking. But if you do it again, it's the same thing. It's not different. If she has to revert.
The reason I'm saying like this, because a lot of people have been all over Twitter have been speculating like, well, the last time the Doctor saw Donna, he gave her that lottery ticket, so it's implied that she's a millionaire now. It's like, oh, so we're going to get Donna who's like a millionaire. Imagine how great that's going to be. But how? Unless the Doctor hops forward. But the last time he sees her, he's given her the lottery ticket. Did he go to see Donna before? And she's rich now, so I must go give her... Well, that doesn't make sense. It does make sense, but it'd be a bit crap.
Fuck, I don't know.
And if it is something where this is the Doctor giving her memories back, but then he's got to take them away again, that's just going to be devastating.
That's heartbreaking.
Do you want to be doing that in the 60th? Not really. You want the 60th just to be... joy,
fun.
Would like the day the Doctor probably has some kind of emotional moments, but it's not sad.
And would Tennant's Doctor do that to her? That would just be cruel. Why would you bring her back just to ruin her mind again? And how can you bring her back?
Because the only time, because obviously the thing where they look older, so maybe it could be like this is Donna later in the timeline. But that just, I don't like that as an idea of being the Doctor hopping forward and seeing her later. I don't like that. I would just want, even though it could be like, that's just a cop-out answer, I'd just want, this is an adventure from Series 4. Somewhere in the middle.
It fits in.
Like
and it's safe.
It's not like, you don't have to watch it. Because anytime a Doctor sees a future version, any multi-Doctor episode, the idea is that they forget it anyway. So something can happen where Donna forgets it as well. So by the time we get to Davros, they don't know they've met Ncuti Gatwa or Capaldi or anything. They don't remember that.
So it still has all that weight.
Which is fine. That's how they work.
Or, as he said, is this some sort of dream sequence?
But then that
is
seems
it a
like
dream
more of a
sequence?
cop-out.
Or, no, is it some form of... Because I do think I'd love it if it were like him going through his previous bodies. That kind of thing. But imagine if he's in a situation where he's going through those previous bodies and also the companions shift and change as well, in a way. Like they are trapped within this whole... Maybe it is just a proper like mind fuck thing where it's like these characters are... The Doctor's switching between previous incarnations and so the companions are like, why is this happening? No one's regenerating. It just is happening. And then at the end, it kind of all lands. And then you can kind of have the idea of revisiting these previous characters and who they are, but continue forward. You could do that, but that's also weird. You could go straight parallel universe shit. Throw the multiverse at us. Fuck it. Why not?
I don't like that.
Me neither. But it's I don't know what they're going to do.
That's the one of that list he's got. Is it a flashback? Fine with that. Dream sequence? A lie? Well, that doesn't mean anything. A fantasy? That doesn't mean anything. Parallel universe? No. Alt Doctor? No. I want it to be the Doctor. I don't want this to parallel universe alt Doctor. I don't want this to be. This is David Tennant from another universe because that's not my Doctor. Not my Doctor.
There's a bit.
It's not. That's not my Doctor anymore.
Mhm.
It's a Doctor from another universe. It's like, oh, it's Tennant, but it's not.
David Tennant.
Like in No Way Home, when they brought Toby and Andrew back, it was those from those films.
Yes.
They could have brought them back. I know they did do it in Multiverse, spoilers for those Marvel films, but Multiverse of Madness, it's Professor X, but it's not the Professor X we know. That's fine because we've seen his ending, we've seen his closure and that kind of thing. That would have been weird to bring him back. The Doctor is a different thing, where we can hop in to their timelines at any point we like. And I think if you were like, it's David Tennant, not the one you know, I'd be like, it'd just kind of be like, oh, never mind. And I wouldn't like that. I want it to be the 10th Doctor that we know, but from somewhere in his timeline. But it's like, it is really exciting because we knew it was coming and because they've done so much Big Finish the past few years, it almost feels like the past few years David Tennant hasn't actually really left. Do you know what I mean? It's not like going, oh my God, we've not seen him since Day of the Doctor. It's like, yeah, I've listened to like 30 Big Finishes. He's got 3 more box sets coming out this year. It's not like I've been deprived of David Tennant. That's the reason I'm kind of like, great. All right, I was only listening to him last week. It's not, it doesn't feel as major for people that keep up with it as it probably would. If you've not watched Doctor Who since David Tennant's coming back. Yeah. But for us that are like, yeah, I mean, I listened to him fight the Daleks last week. Like, yeah, he's been doing stuff. It almost feels like it's not as big for people that are kind of oversaturated with Tennant. A lot of people on Twitter are like saying, we kind of get a lot of 10th Doctor anyway. Can we have somebody else? Whereas like today, if it was like going, Matt Smith's coming back with Karen Gillan and Arthur Darvill, then I'd be like, Jesus Christ, that's huge. Then if it gets to Capaldi, I'll be like on a roof screaming.
I mean, Matt Smith is pretty free at the moment because he's just finished, what's it called?
The Game of Thrones thing.
Yeah. That's filmed now, so he's free.
And people now, you know that video I was talking about a while ago where he's like, whether somebody asked him, would you rather come back to Doctor Who? People are now, I watched that video innocently, looking at his face, being like, yeah, he's just like going, yeah, I'd love to come back. Then they go, would you come back with Karen? And he goes, oh, that'd be lovely. And then he goes, when is Doctor Who's first? It's got to be coming up soon. And they go, yeah, it's next year. But now people are like playing that and they're doing you get videos, they put the Wii music in the background. And they put little words and stuff around the screen, those kind of edits you see.
Yeah. People
are doing that now where they're going, I don't believe him. Go look at his face when he goes, oh, when is the 60th anniversary? That must be next year. People are now editing it in a way where it looks like he's lying. And I'm going, I don't know if I trust you anymore. I don't trust anybody anymore.
I can't look at anyone straight without thinking, are you lying to me? I just knows that. Are you lying to me about this coming back? I don't know what's going on. I just want more announcements. Give me more announcements daily, constantly.
I need something else now. The thing is that's really weird is that when they announced Shooty and they're on the BAFTA red carpet, and he was like, "Go. That's the only announcement for now. You won't hear from us again until Jodie Whittaker is gone. She is still your Doctor." And I was like, "Okay, fair enough." 1 week later, he's like, "Oh, fuck that." Right, so David Tennant's coming back.
What is going on? Like, which era are we in? Because I'm feeling like Jodie's era has ended like 2 months ago.
That's the thing. People are complaining. They're saying this is completely overshadowing Jodie, and I'm going, you probably have an argument for that. Because people are now like, this episode's going to come and go. And they go, is this the one David Tennant's in? No. Well, when's that? Next year. What? And it's like, well, why have they announced that so soon? But it's like, if they are filming it now, then they need to. Otherwise, we'd go, oh, fucking David Tennant is brown suit. That's bloody Catherine Tate with him. Whereas, like, I can understand the argument. But also, the BBC have never promoted this era anyway. So they're kind of doing the same amount of promotion they would. If this wasn't even happening, we would have nothing. At all. They would not. It would not be Jodie announcements in place of this. There'd be nothing.
This is building hype for later on in Doctor Who, but it's also building hype for Doctor Who now.
I think it's going to get more eyes on Doctor Who because if people are like going, "Oh, David Tennant's coming back. The new Doctor's great."
Like, oh shit,
if they're going through, they're going through the TV guide. Doctor Who's on. Oh, I'll give that a go. Let's see what's going on. I think there's actually more. This is better promotion, even though it's not promoting the episode directly. But it's getting Doctor Who in the papers again.
It's promoting Doctor Who as a whole.
It's getting Doctor Who to be a known brand again. People will now know Doctor Who's still on TV. How long has that been going on? It never got cancelled? People are now going to be like, the amount of tweets I see, well, there was actually one who went, I've not cared about Doctor Who since 2010. but now I'm really excited again. But then everybody dogpiled him and was like going, wow, Doctor Who's been great since then. It's just you leaving, blah, 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 blah. And then he then put another tweet up. He's going, I never want to see the words Doctor or Who again. It's like, okay, we've lost him. But you do see a lot of people that are like, I didn't care
I
about
hate people, just to be clear.
That annoyed me.
Fans out there, why are you gatekeeping something that you should be wanting to share with other people?
Yeah, it should be like, oh my God, welcome back.
Yes.
Not, yeah, but Capaldi was great. Because I'd look at those and I go, that's a shame because you missed out on Capaldi. But also it's like, I'm glad you're back. I hope you can retrospectively look at it. But it's like, for some people, it's like somebody did like a survey study thing of this recently. And they said, with fans, the most popular Doctor is Capaldi. With general audience, the most popular Doctor is David Tennant. And for many people, Doctor Who equals David Tennant. For a massive majority of people, Doctor Who just is David Tennant. When he's gone, they're like, well, whatever. So then when David Tennant is involved in Doctor Who in any capacity, there is prick up. And they go, oh, okay. Like people came back for the 50th because when David's in it, all right, okay. And then like for this one, I think people were like, okay, Doctor Who is David Tennant. I'll watch that then. Because I like Doctor Who. It's like, oh, did you like Matt Smith? I go, no, that's not really my Doctor Who for me. What's Doctor Who for you, David Tennant? That is for a lot of people.
It was for me for a lot of time.
So I think a lot of people will be putting their eyes back on Doctor Who now, which they haven't been doing. And I think that's a good thing for this centenary. Basically, my thoughts are having this confirmed is great because we needed it. And now it will kill off the rumours. Now the vague statements they've said can really get our imaginations going the theories going, and we can really think, is this going to be a body swap? Is it going to be a conscious swap? Is it going to be just plucking it out of series 4? Is it going to be like that?
Honestly, I don't really mind what it's going to be because I think Russell will do it.
It's what I think. I have faith Russell will do it. There are things I don't want, definitely. I don't want this to be an alternate universe. I want this to be my 10th Doctor.
Or like a dream sequence which has no weight to anything.
Yeah. I want it to be the Doctor I know is back, and he is back. It is him. I don't want it to be.
Back in black.
I don't want it to be like, this is the 10th Doctor from another universe. I'm like, well, that's not my 10th Doctor. Then,
no,
it's
not my Doctor.
This is the Doctor from another universe, but he's always been in this body. No,
it doesn't work because you don't have any.
I have no connection to that.
You can't pimp like connection is like time and history and memories spent together, and we've spent no time technically with that Doctor. So
yeah, it would. I would not like that. Yeah. The other exciting thing for me is like David Tennant's back. Yeah, great, but he kind of never really went anywhere because he does so much Big Finish. And yes, Catherine Tate has done loads of Big Finish. But this is one of the few times in Doctor Who history that a companion has come back with their Doctor. And that's really exciting that Catherine Tate's back because it's like, great, the 10th Doctor's in Day of the Doctor. Amazing. We love it. It's one of my favourite episodes ever, so I'm not dissing it or anything. But having my favourite series is Series 4 forever. My favourite TARDIS team forever is the 10th Doctor and Donna. So they're like going, you're going to see more of that. I'm like going, yes. And I'm not just listening to it either. I'm actually seeing it.
Yeah.
And I can share it with loads of people because loads of other people are going to see it too.
I love audio. I do. I'm listening to Batman and Bode at the moment. Fucking incredible. But there is something special about actually getting what you once saw in the exact same format again.
Yeah. And it's that same thing, like, even though some of the audios are incredible, but I don't know anybody else that really heard them. I have nobody else to talk to them. Oh, it was great.
I will start listening. Batman and Bode has got me into audio dramas now.
It's quite frustrating actually because Big Finish yesterday were like going, like they know what they're doing at Big Finish. And they went, let's do a David Tennant sale, yeah. And they put all of their David Tennant stuff on sale, like dead cheap. And I was looking through, going, I've got it all. I was like, God damn it! There's nothing for me to get. Like I've already got it all. But it is amazing news, and I'm really glad. But if and when we get Matt and Capaldi back, that's when I'm going to be frothing at the mouth, going crazy.
Matt,
because
I'd
we've never had them back.
Capaldi would blow my mind because we've had Matt in a multi-Doctor story. Obviously, we've had Capaldi with the first Doctor, but that doesn't really count because it's not actually the same actor. But yeah, Capaldi would be the one that would blow my mind because he's like, honestly, he's dropped off the radar in a way. What else has he been working on? He's
done a few films. Obviously, he's done Suicide Squad and things like that. Yeah, but he's done a lot of arty films and small TV series and that kind of thing. He seems to be. Thing is, I was thinking with it is like
he does it for the script rather than
a lot of something else. I was thinking as well when I was on the way is like you get what I was thinking. What is great about this as well, just to kind of really round this off, is that I really like that David Tennant and Catherine Tate are never people that are like, don't talk about Doctor Who, I've moved on. Like, you get actors like that. Daniel Radcliffe, if you talk to him about Harry Potter, he'd probably stab you in the face. Like, he cannot stand the thing now. Like, he really just like, do not talk to me about this thing. And you get people that are like, I am more than this character. I've always really liked that David Tennant and Catherine Tate have never been like that. Even Catherine Tate knows fuck all about Doctor Who. And when you watch panels with her, they go, what's your favourite monster? And she goes, I don't know any that weren't in my series, and I can only vaguely remember the ones that were in my series. Vashta, and she like goes, the Vashta Vagada or something, were they in my series?
Like
it's that
STD.
It's like that kind of thing that she says. And I love that. But she still takes time for Doctor Who fans. She still does conventions, that kind of thing.
Because she has a love for it and kind of being in it, and rather than it, like, it's
exactly.
just passion.
Matt Smith too has never been like, don't talk to me about Doctor Who. He's gone off and done other things. Yes.
God, yeah. Dude just had a hell of a career.
And people say like,
he was in the best film ever, Morbius. Actually.
People always say actually one thing that Matt Smith does need to do is come back to Doctor Who, because everything he touches falls apart. He was in Terminator Genesis and it flopped. He was supposed to be in Rise of Skywalker. He was dropped and then the film flopped. He was in Morbius and it flopped. And they're like saying, Matt, stop it. Come back to us. Stop going to these big franchises. They don't want you. And it's like every time you're in it, they seem to just fall apart.
It's not Matt's
like
fault.
Even like Game of Thrones, everyone's saying this looks awful, and they're like saying like, Matt, come back.
Matt Smith, it's
like,
not his fault.
It's not
He's
his
good.
fault. A lot of people are saying it's probably his agent's
He was in The
fault.
Crown though.
Crown, to be fair, Crown did really well. Okay, that is really good Matt Smith work. Last Night Soho derided that film.
I mean,
people
he was great in it.
Yeah, but the film wasn't. And people were like saying, just come back to us, Matt. So I think he's always been like that. But Eccleston is probably the only doctor I can think of who was really like, do not talk to me about Doctor Who, I've moved on. And Capaldi isn't outwardly like that, but he hasn't done a convention for a very long time. And I think it's because he's trying to get a bit of space between him and Doctor Who. But I think what is the one thing, maybe two things that can get him back? Well, three things, in fact. Russell is writing. Rachel's directing. You're going to get your TARDIS team back. I think that would be like, okay,
yeah,
I'm interested.
But yeah, no, just it's lovely having Tennant and Tate confirmed, because number one, it's just wonderful having it confirmed, and also it kind of opens the doors now that we can theorize about other rumors.
We've got something to go off now.
Yeah.
Rather than the point when we did a podcast, we were going, I just want the doctor to confirm now because I'm getting frustrated. We got really annoyed that we were like going, we can't theorize in anything because we don't have anything. We've got something now. Do I like all of those things that he's hinted at? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. But there are things in there that I do and I can work with, and I would love to see that. But at the end of the day, the thing I need is a multi-doctor. Even if it's just Shooty and David.
Yeah.
I just want
a nice simple.
I just want a multi-doctor.
I just imagine. I just want to see like Capaldi.
But Capaldi and Tennant talking.
I want to see, because I've seen Tennant written by Russell quite a bit.
Yes.
I've seen Matt written by Russell only once, but he fucking aced it.
Yeah.
I've never seen Capaldi written by Russell, and that is something I am.
And I think also because Russell writes comedy really well and funny really well. I think he'd write Capaldi really well.
I think Capaldi would maybe be one of his best written, honestly.
Potentially. That's the end of that. We have to be out of this room right now. That's our second emergency podcast.
Then
I'm sure it's not our last. I think probably same time next week.
We've taken a break, and now it's like news.
So it's like a news. We don't have time right now just to be watching an episode discussing it.
You're lucky you finish your final project. I'm gonna be leaving this room and writing it. I've taken time out of my.
Well, no, I've still got to do my essay. But,
but you got
end of this week. I'll probably have podcast proper. We'll resume next week. But we'll still be having people who look at the booking for the studios will be like, why is Aidan and George in this room so often? Because we got news. Anyway, join us then for our either whatever comes next. Will either be our next emergency podcast or our next proper podcast. Either way, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening, everyone.